Prince Siddhartha was a remarkable young man, admired not only for his skills and bravery but, more importantly, for his deep kindness and compassion. Even though he lived in a luxurious palace with every comfort he could wish for, he was always thoughtful of those who worked hard around him. He often wondered about the lives of the people who toiled for his happiness and comfort, the farmers who worked under the scorching sun, the servants who maintained the palace, and even the animals that contributed to life in the kingdom. Siddhartha felt a profound sense of empathy for them and wished he could help make their lives better. In addition to his gentle nature, Siddhartha was a courageous and skilled horseman. He won many competitions and earned respect throughout the kingdom. Despite his achievements, he never became arrogant. Instead, he used his skills to inspire others with his kindness and empathy. One sunny afternoon, Siddhartha went for a stroll in the woods with his cousin Devadatta. Devadatta, unlike Siddhartha, was more interested in displaying his power than in showing kindness. He carried a bow and a set of arrows, eager for an opportunity to showcase his shooting skills. As they wandered through the trees, Devadatta suddenly spotted a beautiful white swan gliding gracefully through the sky. Without a second thought, he drew an arrow, aimed, and released it toward the bird. The arrow flew swiftly and struck the swan, causing it to fall from the sky. The moment the swan fell, both boys rushed to reach it. Siddhartha, being quicker on his feet, got there first. He found the poor swan lying on the ground, its wing injured and bleeding from where the arrow had struck. Carefully, Siddhartha knelt beside the frightened bird. He gently removed the arrow from its wing, making sure not to cause further harm, and looked around for something to soothe its wound. Spotting some cool, broad leaves nearby, he gathered them, squeezed out a bit of their juice, and applied it to the wound to ease the swan's pain. Then, with his soft touch and comforting words, he calmed the trembling bird until it began to relax in his hands. When Devadatta arrived, he immediately claimed the swan, saying, "Give me my bird. I shot it down, so it's mine." Siddhartha, however, held the swan close and looked at his cousin with resolve. "No," he replied. "I will not give it to you. If you had killed it, then perhaps it would have been yours. But it's still alive, and I am the one who is helping it. Therefore, it belongs to me." Devadatta was furious. He felt it was his right to take the bird since he had shot it down. Yet Siddhartha stood firm, unwilling to let the helpless creature fall back into harm's way. Seeing no other solution, Siddhartha suggested, "If we can't agree, let us seek the wisdom of the sage. He will know who the swan rightfully belongs to." Though he was reluctant, Devadatta finally agreed. Together, they made their way to the court of the sage, each hoping to be declared the true owner of the swan. When they arrived, the sage listened to both boys as they explained their sides of the story. Devadatta argued that since he had brought the bird down, it should be his. Siddhartha, on the other hand, explained how he had saved the swan's life and tended to its wound. The sage thought for a moment, stroking his beard thoughtfully, then he looked at the two boys with gentle yet wise eyes. "A life is a precious thing," he said slowly. "It cannot belong to the one who wishes to harm or destroy it. Instead, it belongs to the one who shows compassion and tries to save it. Thus, by right, the swan belongs to Siddhartha." Hearing the sage's words, Devadatta fell silent, realizing that his cousin's kindness had been rightfully rewarded. Siddhartha felt a sense of peace as he held the swan, grateful that he could help the creature and give it a second chance at life. He continued to care for the swan, helping it heal until it was strong enough to fly once more. This incident left a lasting impression on both boys and all who heard the story. For Siddhartha, it deepened his compassion and desire to relieve suffering wherever he could. For Devadatta, it was a lesson in the value of kindness and respect for life. The kingdom remembered the story as an example of Siddhartha's boundless empathy, a quality that would eventually lead him to seek a path to help all living beings, inspiring generations with his selflessness and love for life.